Today, I will present 100 new features and incredible technologies in GTA 6. So get ready. Come on, I challenge you. Get 200 likes on this video in just 1 hour. Without further ado, let's start this video with the main activities we can do in GTA 6. So, we will have billiards, which is confirmed with Jason playing it in a screenshot. We also have tennis and basketball, which we can see with Cole, and also simply Jason. And by the way, it's quite intriguing, because if that's really Jason down there, he has really gained weight. But we'll talk more about that later. We will also have the possibility to play mini golf, beach ball, motocross, which was quite logical, and especially go to street clubs. I know you. We will also be able to go fishing, so catch fish, etc. Scuba diving will also be included. There will also be kayaking. This one is really not confirmed, but there might also be hunting, which can be seen in one of the screenshots, and also in a painting, well, in Jason and Lucia's motel. We will obviously have cage fights, most likely with the character Lucia. I don't know if Jason will do the same. And of course, dancing in nightclubs. Here, you can see the details really in everything that has been done on GTA 6. Look at the finesse, well, already of the foliage of each tree, etc. But if we look even closer, well, the small electric poles, look at the number of cables there are. It's just impressive, actually. And that, let me tell you, is really a detail of the game. There are many other details like this. So this image, I have reanalyzed and reanalyzed it because it is just impressive. First, we see the quality of the water in the pool, but that's not the most impressive part. What we can also see is Lucia listening to music on her AirPods. So will we have the possibility to listen to music on the street without a vehicle? Honestly, that would be quite a good thing. What's nice too is that we see she has a phone next to her. So, is it hers? I think so, but if we look a little closer at the trailer and also other images, we can see that she never has the same phone, which would confirm that you will be able to change phones, either in missions, in the game's story, or you will have the possibility to buy different brands, well, simply of phones. In the background, we can see Jason, who looks a bit depressed and is watching her. And here, we can ask the question, does he have to follow her every time, given that the story will happen as a duo and she will have an electronic bracelet? So literally, Jason won't be able to go just anywhere if he wants to go with her. Here, in a moment of the trailer, we can simply see in the background images of covers, either of video games, cartoons, or movies. And we can see Michael's movie. Yes, I am indeed talking about Michael from Grand Theft Auto 5. Then, we have this famous character, Raul Bautista, whom I find really nice. And look closely at the outfit he's wearing. Well, it looks like Lance Vance's outfit, who is one of the former characters from GTA. And honestly, it's pretty cool if they made a huge reference. In any case, the clothes fit perfectly. By the way, take a look to show you that Rockstar is always into details. If we look at the beer that Lucia and Jason are holding, it's simply the Modelo model in reality. It means that this beer truly exists, and it's a perfect parody, actually. As you know, according to some rumors, GTA 6 was originally the America project that was supposed to include many places from North America to South America. And apparently, the update that was released, I believe, in 2020, that is on GTA Online, this island, you all know it. It's Cayo Perico. Well, it would have been part of the development of Project America, which was then abandoned. And so they would have brought this place back from the map to reintroduce it in GTA 5. And it wouldn't be surprising, given that to access it, you have to do a mission, and on top of that, have a loading screen. So it's not directly in the base map. You really have to access it through a loading screen. And especially if you look closely, the vegetation on this map is really immense compared to GTA 5, and you can see there has been a real leap forward in terms of production. So, on the left, we can see a lottery player. Will we be able to play the lottery like in roleplay in Grand Theft Auto 5? Yes, it's possible on 5M. I can't wait to see if Rockstar will implement this new feature, which, in my opinion, is a bit like the casino in GTA 5. And I honestly think it would be a really good idea. So, sunburns, we talk a lot about them since the first trailer because a lot of people have them. So initially, it could have just been aesthetic and served absolutely no purpose, but if we look closely at Jason from several angles, each time, the sunburns change. We also notice that he has more around the eyes when he wears sunglasses. I really can't wait to see if sunscreen will be implemented in the game to avoid these sunburns. Because yes, in Miami, it gets very, very hot. And I can tell you that even in April, you can get a crazy sunburn in just 1 hour. Knowing Rockstar since Red Dead Redemption 2, frankly, I have no doubt about the level of detail, and I'm sure they can shock us with things that serve no purpose. Or that are there just to impress us, actually. By the way, if we look at this screenshot image that is really zoomed in, we can see palm trees held up by pieces of wood. And these pieces of wood are generally used to support the palm trees during storms or even hurricanes. And we know Miami is really a somewhat stormy, tropical region. By the way, it's rather surprising that in the trailers, we didn't have any hints about hurricanes, etc. I think they really have some great surprises in store for us, especially with real-time water simulation. And the real-time water simulation, really, if you watch the trailer and the images again, you'll realize it's just incredible, actually. And if we look at this image, we can see a train. And not just any train, since it's a passenger train, which we didn't have in the previous GTA games. And generally, it was either a freight train or a tram. So the good news is that at several moments in the trailers, or even in the images, we can see not only the trams, which are more within the city of Miami for easier movement, but also we see this famous train that will probably move from region to region. Because yes, Grand Theft Auto 6 will be composed of 2 regions, but I'll talk more about that right after. Well, I wanted to quickly come back to this image because it's really very interesting. First, we see another strip club, which means there's yet another one since we already see many in the trailers. If we look closely, we can even see a bouncer who just threw someone to the ground, probably because he was a bit too messed up. And especially if we look at the vehicles, and when we closely observe the wheels, we can notice that they are turned in a certain direction when stopped, which was not present in Grand Theft Auto 5 since the wheels automatically straightened, unlike Mafia, for example, which had already introduced this feature. Look here at Lucia's necklace. It could resemble boxing gloves, which would already confirm her passion for combat sports, and also the arrival of new combat mechanics like in GTA 4. I had already talked about that a bit. And by the way, it would be a reference to a necklace inspired by Season 2 of Better Call Saul. Let's go back for a moment to the layout of the map of GTA 6, and especially these 2 regions, North Gloriana, which is simply the mountainous region where we will have Mount Calaga and very likely cities whose names we do not yet know. Because Rockstar had already pleasantly surprised us at the time of San Andreas by giving us Las Venturas right after. In fact, for 10 months, we thought that only San Andreas would be available, so Los Angeles, etc. And at the last minute, they announced the continuation of the map just before the game's release. It wouldn't even surprise me if we are still missing a lot of screenshots and also trailer moments, since it's true that we don't see the countryside part at all in trailer number 2. Let's also go back for a moment to Jason Schreier, who had simply talked about GTA 6 and a potential new delay. And be careful, we must take this with a grain of salt. It was never said that GTA 6 would be delayed again. He simply explained that some studios were afraid, precisely, of any new delay, because as GTA 6 is now scheduled for May, the studios would like to be able to schedule their release for October, November 2026 with 100% certainty. Except with Rockstar, you can never be sure of anything. Even if we have a fixed date, I admit, it reassures a lot of people enormously. Even I am rather reassured, although I wasn't really confident at first. Mr. Zenik also stated on television that generally, when they give a fixed date, they know how to stick to it. So I think they are on the right track, unless it's just smoke and mirrors. For the investors, it depends. So this plan has generated a lot of discussion, because when we look at Jason and Lucia, we can see Lucia, who is not completely finished. We notice a lot fewer wrinkles. We notice that her hair is really much less detailed than in the rest of the trailer. I even want to tell you, the lighting is not at all the same as in the rest of the game. Could it be a scene that was shot, perhaps, at a time when the game was not yet finished and not yet optimized? Which would confirm to us that, in fact, the game was either not finished at the time it was shot, or conversely, that the game is still not finished, and that's why Rockstar delayed it, even though it is already magnificent. Personally, I wouldn't mind playing it like that. Then, we can consider that she very likely has makeup, maybe the angle, the lighting, etc., greatly affect the wrinkles, etc., of a character. I think it's all a matter of exposure, and maybe it will actually be like that in the game, and we won't even notice it. I wanted to compare 2 or 3 images of GTA 6 with Red Dead. Here, we clearly see the difference in the sky, the atmosphere, but even more the vegetation, I find. It's really striking, and especially with the water in the next images. At one point in the screenshots, you can clearly see the grains of sand leaving the shoe of the person walking in the sand. I admit that this detail impressed me, let's be honest, knowing that it's quite precise. By the way, for the curious, there it is. I think we can finally show you real leaked images. Look at the image of Jason and Lucia from the time of the leaks. Now, we also have those from trailer 1 and 2, and you can see that the evolution is just crazy between the characters who no longer look alike at all. It's crazy to think that in 500 days, Rockstar Games managed to make the characters borderline but recognizable. That was my first impression when watching trailer number 2. I felt like I wasn't seeing the same GTA as before. For months, I had images of trailer number 2 in my head. I kept wondering, is it going to look like this or that? And in the end, I found myself with a game that had nothing to do with it anymore. If you really look closely at Jason in detail, you can notice at certain moments in the trailer, or even in some screenshots, that his pupils dilate. Is it because he's drinking alcohol? Is it because he's consuming something or whatever? Listen, it's entirely possible. By the way, I find that in the trailer, Jason and Lucia are really associated with beer. It's crazy. I had already shown you this detail on my secondary channel, but look at this. This is absurd. To see the windshield wipers cleaning the car and to see the exact traces, I find that incredible. There is no other game capable of doing that in an open world. Even look at the quality of the water, etc., that we can see at the bottom right. Everything is calculated to the millimeter. We also saw the drawbridges present in the game, and especially look at the interior of this boat, which is just magnificent. You'd almost think it's an AI image. It's really astonishing. For years, we received AI images that looked like a supposed GTA 6, etc. We thought, no, it's too beautiful. It would be too good for a game. It won't look like that. And in the end, we end up with images that literally look like AI. I think it's really amazing. Don't forget to give a big thumbs up on this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we'll catch up very soon for a new video.